Alright, let's jump right into lesson 2. So in a previous lesson, we learned about vertex form. And in this lesson, we're going to learn about intercept form. Instead of being given a point on the parabola and the vertex of the parabola, we're going to be given a point on the parabola and both x-intercepts of the parabola. Alright, so let's see how we would write an equation of the parabola that has x-intercepts of 12 and negative 6 and passes through the point 14, 4. Now, I always like to see a picture of any problem I'm doing, so I'm going to make a rough, oh, that's not working out. I am going to make a rough sketch of this here parabola. So it has x-intercepts of 12 and negative 6. So there's 12, 0, and here's negative 6, 0. And it passes through the point 14, 4. So there would be 14, 4 would be somewhere around here. And so our parabola would look something like this. One thing that tells me is it's opening upward, so it should have a positive a value. So that's something I'll keep in mind when I get an answer. Now, even without the picture, we can just go at intercept form. We have our x-intercepts, which is our p and q, so p, 0, q, 0, and then our point is our x, y, and we can just plug into this and we can solve for a. So let's do it. My y value is 4. My x value is 14 minus p, so minus negative 6. Subtracting a negative is the same as adding, so that turns into 14 plus 6. X is still 14 minus q. Q is 12. And now we can simplify this stuff a little bit. 4 equals a times 14 plus 6 is 20. 14 minus 12 is 2. So we get 4 equals a times 40. That's 40a. To get a by itself, we will divide both sides by 40. And we'll get a equals, that reduces to 1/10. So once we know what a is, we can plug back in for a and p and q, and we can get the equation for this parabola giving us all the x and y values. So we're going to plug in our a, our p, and our q, and we get y equals 1/10 x minus p. So x minus negative 6 is x plus 6 times x minus q. So that's going to be x minus 12. And that, my friends, is the equation in vertex form, not vertex form, in intercept form, because these are the x-intercepts of this here parabola. Now, if you are not a big fan of fractions, you can just do 1 divided by 10 in your calculator and you'll get y equals 0.1 times the same thing. And if you're entering values into a computer quiz type of thing, it'll be one of those guys. Meteorologists, they're so wacky. They're always making parabolas, trying to predict temperatures. So this is one made by a meteorologist. So let's write a function that models this data. So functions are, we got to write a function f. So that's like f of x. Y equals f of x. And this was our intercept form, so we can replace the y here with f of x. Magic. Man, I'm such a professional animator. Well, let's figure out what numbers are what. So we can call this guy P 0, and we can call this guy Q 0, and it doesn't really matter which one you call P and which one you call Q. You're going to get the same equation. This is our x, and this is our f of x. So f of x here is 9.6. A is what we're trying to solve for. Our x was 0. So 0 minus p is 4. And then 0 minus q is 24. So we get 9.6 equals a times negative 4 times negative 24. So 9.6 is a times 4 times 24 is 96, and negative times negative is positive, so a times 96. We're going to get a by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by 96. And we get a equals 0.1. It's a positive a value. Our parabola is opening up, so that makes sense. So let's write down what our function is. Our function is f of x equals 0.1 times x minus 4 times x minus 24. And that's so we've written our function. Now we need to answer, what is the coldest temperature? Well, the coldest temperature is going to happen down here at the lowest point on the graph, and that's at the vertex. And the vertex goes through the axis of symmetry goes through the vertex, and that means that these two x-intercepts are equidistant from the axis of symmetry. So all I got to do is figure out halfway between 4 and 24. So I can just do the average of 4 and 24. 4 plus 24 divided by 2, that's 28 divided by 2, and that is 14. So this happens at x equals 14. So I just need to do f of 14. So that'll be 0.1 times 14 minus 4 times 14 minus 24. 0.1 times, let's see, 14 minus 4 is 10. 14 minus 24 is negative 10. And 0.1 times 10 is 1, times negative 10 is negative 10. So the lowest temperature is negative 10 degrees Celsius. Alright, so let's practice one more. We're going to write the equation of the parabola that passes through the point 2, 5. That's our x and y. And has x-intercepts negative 2 and 4. P and Q, not G. So here's vertex form. We're going to plug in what we know. Y is 5. A we don't know yet. X is 2 minus negative 2, so that's plus 2. X is 2, and then minus Q is 4. So 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So this will be negative 8a. Divide both sides by negative 8, and we get a is negative 5/8. So our equation would be y equals negative 5/8 times x plus 2, because we're doing minus a negative 2, times x minus 4. And if you were all into decimals, then this would be the equation. Same thing, negative 5/8 is negative 0.625. Alright, check you later, homie.